cloud gaming with Shadow, and more coming up on today's episode of the latest in tech news. Hey Gadget here, you're just in time for the latest episode of the world's only 3-in-1 show on tech, gadgets, and gaming news. That's right, this is the latest in tech news. My name is Taylor American. If you're new here, pause for just a brief moment, hit the subscribe button, and then unpause the episode and continue playing, because I'd hate for you guys to miss out on an episode. Speaking of which, it's going to be a short episode today. There's not a lot of news going on. There's a lot of news about one certain stupid thing that seems to permeate every single area that I'm trying to look for news coverage in, which makes it really hard to find interesting news that I want to share or I'm looking for. And then it's just a little bit of a, I don't know, a slow couple of weeks, the news cycle. So it's kind of been difficult for me to try and find some articles to obviously appease you guys, because I know if I don't report anything, you'll be like, where's my news for the day? I'm gonna get mad and I'm gonna whack you with my cane. Okay, I know you're not that aged, but I'm getting there. So, you know, I'm calling myself an ageist first. Perfect start to the show. That's exactly how I wanted to start today's show. But anyways, we'll be taking a look at a new cloud gaming provider called Shadow for our feature story today. We'll also be taking a look at the Red Magic 5G gaming phone. It seems to be the latest craze of gadgets going around. Mostly what I'm able to find is not a lot of other gadgets going on, but a lot of smartphones. So we'll be taking a look at that. And finally, we'll be taking a look at Doom Eternal. Just came out with a launch trailer, so for those of you excited about that, we do have that coming up for you. But before we can get to all that, let's take a look back on today in tech history. Alright, today is March 12th, 2020. On this day in history, in 2008, the video streaming service Hulu was launched to the public. Hulu has since become a focal point for the ongoing development of streaming TV, along with the agonizing by TV networks and movie studios. Good, bad, or otherwise remains to be seen. It also revealed Alec Baldwin to be an alien, which really didn't surprise anybody. We kind of all figured he was. Also, on this day in 1989, Tim Berners-Lee submitted a proposal to CERN for developing a new way of linking and sharing information over the internet. It was the first time Berners-Lee proposed a system that would ultimately become the World Wide Web. However, this proposal was a relatively vague request to research the details and feasibility of such a system. He would later submit a proposal properly on November 12, 1990, that much more directly detailed the actual implementation of the World Wide Web. So if you want an accurate date for the birthday of the World Wide Web, November 12th, 1990 is accurate, but this is kind of like the first proposal, like the rumorings of an idea that happened on this date. And with that out of the way, let's head on over to today's feature story. Oh, let's see if it actually loads. There we go. Computers and technology, I tell you. By the way, if you're interested in any of the show notes covered on today's episode, head on over to TechNewsGadget.net, and there you can click on any of the articles, look at any of the images and videos we might have forthwith. But cloud gaming service Shadow from the French startup Blade is drastically lowering its price in a bid to compete with a new wave of platforms from Google and Nvidia. Now, Shadow service, which offers a full PC in a cloud with no restrictions on what you can download, will cost as low as $11.99 a month for the platform's Boost tier. That particular tier will get you a cloud PC powered by NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080 graphics card, a quad-core 3.4 GHz processor, 12 gigs of RAM, and 256 gigs of storage. Now, what's kind of interesting is that Blade is now moving into the US market. Here, for those of you who are in France who knew about this, you're like, oh yeah, I knew it was coming like forever, but for us in the US, without knowing about it, we're just like, I thought there was just Stadia and xCloud. Well, now we got a third. It's called Shadow. Prior to today's announcement, Shadow was only available for $25 a month if you purchased an annual plan, or $34.95 a month if you purchased it monthly. Shadow began briefly running a $12.99 a month promotion for the annual plan starting last fall, but it's since discontinued the offering in a run-up to today's announcement, so it's actually looking pretty juicy. In addition to the plan, they're also offering a $24.99 a month Ultra plan that will up the GPU to an RTX 2080 card, a slight boost to the processor, 4 gigs more RAM, and twice the storage. And if you go for the $40 a month Infinite plan, Shadow will give you a remote PC with a Titan RTX card coupled with a 6-core 4 GHz processor, 32 gigs of RAM, and 1 terabyte of storage. Interesting. Now, this price drop should help Shadow stay competitive with offerings from Google Stadia and Nvidia's newly public GeForce Now service. So there's now kind of like 4 in the mix. While Stadia Pro currently costs $10 a month, Google doesn't actually offer subscribers access to a remote PC. Instead, you have to buy the games that only work on Stadia and access them through a special web portal, a mobile app that functions only on certain Android phones, or through a Chromecast Ultra. Nvidia's GeForce Now is more similar to Shadow in design, in that Nvidia lets you use your existing library of Steam games via a Mac, PC, and a Linux app. But Shadow goes one step further than Nvidia by letting you access a full Windows 10 machine in the cloud instead of just launching games via Steam. From there, you can install whatever software you like using Shadow. That also appears to help Shadow skirt the current licensing issues that have led big game developers to publish and then yank their libraries from GeForce Now, because Shadow advertises itself as a cloud computing platform that just happens to be a great way to play PC games. It doesn't seem like it's running into the same issues as Nvidia, which has positioned GeForce Now as more of a remote PC gaming platform that advertises the ability to play some big AAA hit games. It's unclear whether the big game publishers are simply turning a blind eye to Shadow, or if the company's cloud offering is indeed distinct enough from GeForce Now to avoid running afoul of potential copyright and licensing issues. But Shadow's price drop may earn the attention of companies like Activision Blizzard and Bethesda, both of which removed their entire libraries from GeForce Now when Nvidia began charging $5 a month for a premium tier of its cloud gaming service in early February. And there was a lot of confusion regarding that, and people are throwing fits about that. I don't quite understand why, but apparently there's licensing issues over our heads that even we would kind of get confused at trying to understand. So not to worry about. But if you have been looking for an option, Shadow might just be something for you to look into. And yes, there will be a link in the show notes to go and check it out, take a look, test it out, I guess, if you want. I mean, why not? It actually sounds pretty promising. But as for what game you want to play or download or software, I guess it's up to you. So customize it as you will. Shadow could be very promising. Oh, so yeah, let me know your comments down in the YouTube comment section or on Twitter at TechNewsGadget, because you heard my thoughts. I actually kind of find this interesting, which is why it's today's feature story, but I'm interested in what you guys think as well. All right, moving on to some gadget news. Yes, more smartphone news. And yes, we, I think, have images that go along with this. Yes, we do. So if you're watching via YouTube, we got video. YouTube.com/TechNewsGadget is the place to go if you're not currently watching or subscribed via YouTube. I know some of you like looking at the images and the videos and everything that we have going on. I know none of you like looking at me because I'm just this boring guy who sits in a corner and commentates the news. So you actually don't have to look at me at all. You can just look at all the images to your heart's content and have fun with that. But Nubia Red Magic 5G is a gaming phone with a 144Hz display, active cooling fan, and more. Now, gaming smartphones have risen the ranks in recent years, and I've been hearing a bunch of them this year so far. You know it seems like it's all we're covering. There's not really much news about anything else, but neither here nor there. Banking upon their overkill specifications to deliver some amazing smartphone performance, Methinks you want to play Warzone or maybe Overwatch or maybe League of Legends or maybe Fortnite on these phones? I don't know. While gaming smartphones may not provide the best overall smartphone experience, they do have their own niche set up and that they're filling quite nicely. Nubia entered this gaming smartphone genre with the Red Magic and followed it up with the Red Magic Mars, Red Magic 3, and Red Magic 3S. Now, in 2020, Nubia is looking to create a few firsts in the gaming smartphone genre with the launch of their new gaming flagship, the Nubia Red Magic 5G. It is the company's first 5G device, the first smartphone on the market with a 144Hz refresh rate display, and a few other interesting tricks up its proverbial sleeve. They do have some specifications here. It does look like it is running a Qualcomm Snapdragon 865. RAM and storage looks to be between 8 gigs and 128 gigs, or like a 12 gigabyte plan with 256 gigs of storage, or a 16 gig RAM with 250 gigs of storage. It does have a 4500 mAh battery with a 55 watt fast charging option. Rear camera looks to be a primary 64 megapixel Sony IMX 686 sensor. The second camera looks to be an 8 megapixel wide angle camera, and they do have a tertiary 2 megapixel macro. The front camera is just regular standard 8 megapixel as well. Some other interesting features: active cooling through rotating fan within the phone, interesting. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, low latency game screencasting, touch sensitive shoulder buttons, Wi-Fi 6, dual frequency GPS, and side pins for further docking. And yes, it is running Red Magic OS based on Android 10. But if you want to see pictures, do we got pictures? Check it out. Oh man. It's almost like, look at all this. Pretty cool, huh? But now I don't know how to get rid of the picture. Get rid of the picture, please. Probably shouldn't have clicked on a picture, huh? It's actually standing out from the crowd of boring glass slab phones with a new design aesthetic that practically screams gaming phone. I mean, look at it. The design language is quite unique. They also use some distinct color combinations, so there's no mistaking this phone for anything else in the market red right now. It's red, for starters, and if you're like, oh, I can't see it, well, you're probably listening to the podcast, youtube.com/TechNewsGadget, you can actually see it. It has a lot going on with the big X lending the phone some character. The Red Magic logo has RGB LEDs underneath because, well, everything gaming needs RGB lights anyways. But does it really? Okay, I guess it's a gaming smartphone, why not? On the sides, the right edge of the phone has a volume rocker, power button, as well as 2 shoulder buttons to aid in gaming. These buttons appear to be touch sensitive, but there are mentions of 2-step actuation, which we're unable to explain as it could possibly be a translation error. Much like other previous Nubia gaming phones, the Red Magic 5G also has active cooling solution coming in the form of a fan within the phone, and well, a couple other interesting stuff. Some pins for connecting to an external dock that can charge the phone, and oh man, just pictures. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's looking pretty good. Here's a better quality picture. I mean, oh, man. To spice things up a bit, Nubia is also selling a transparent edition of the Red Magic 5G. It isn't immediately clear if the back of the phone is a reimagined vinyl graphic on the body or actually transparent. Nubia showed a video of the fan visibly spinning through the back glass, so it would appear at least that this area is truly transparent. Or maybe it was just a marketing stunt, but pricing and availability, if you are interested, it is going on sale starting in China on March 12th, 2020, and globally in April. It will have a couple of combinations going along with it, and a transparent edition looks to be only coming in 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, or 16 gigs of RAM with 256 gigs of storage. And then there's the prices as well. I'm not exactly sure what this converts to. Hang on, let me find out really quick. Looks like the lowest price of 3,800 Chinese yuan is around $542 US. And the highest one, let me just punch the numbers in here. I'm actually doing this live right as we talk right now. The transparent edition one specifically is 742 US dollars, but 5,200 Chinese yuan. So there you have it. If you're interested in the pricing, for like $500 to $700, you could get this. Oh man, oh, this is so tempting right now. Like, I'm paying almost double for another phone. Anyways, what do you guys think? Transparent edition. Actually, this is kind of the main reason why I brought this gaming phone up, because I've never seen anything like this before, and you probably never will either. So, moving on. All right, last article I got for you guys lined up today. It is a gaming article, and there are way too many stinking ads. I hate ads, but well, whatever. It is what it is. Good thing you're not watching the video right now, or you see me kind of visibly frustrated at it. You can actually listen to this as a podcast on the go. Head on over to latestintechnews.com to pick the app of your choice that you want to listen in, or you could actually open a podcast app that you listen with right now and search for Latest in Tech News and hit subscribe right there. It would be greatly appreciated. Doom Eternal has finally dropped its launch trailer. It's actually showing the Slayer as a force of vengeance. This trailer was kind of interesting, and yes, there is an actual link to the actual trailer right here. See, look, and that's all I'm gonna play about it. Doom Eternal is almost here ahead of its release. Bethesda has released one last new look at the game through a launch trailer, which kind of gives us a glimpse at some really, really big foes. They are bringing a ton of new features for players to enjoy, such as the ability to customize the look of the Slayer in the campaign. You can even grab a unicorn-themed skin from a Twitch Prime promotion. If you'd like to learn more about Doom Eternal, the author of this article said that their senior staff editor got a chance to play a couple hours of the game at a preview event. There's also some new gameplay in a video where you can listen to their staff editor explain some of the changes coming. Doom Eternal is set to release on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on March 20th, with a Nintendo Switch release coming sometime later, but we don't exactly have an exact release date at this point. But you guys are excited about that. There are going to be massive monsters in it, so if that's up your alley, this is the game for you. Alright, and with that, that wraps up this episode of the Latest in Tech News. Thanks for tuning in, guys. New episodes every weekday. Now I'm going to give you a quick update. Tomorrow is Friday, although if you're listening to this right now, it's Friday, so the episode will be coming out later. I'm hoping to get an episode out on Friday to finish the week out. However, I do have prior arrangements and things going on tomorrow, which may make it difficult. If I do have a show, it'll probably be short, just like the shows have been this week. But I'll know more tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be able to get an episode out for you. But if you are interested in wanting to get an episode for sure, always let me know on Twitter at TechNewsGadget, or just leave a comment down below. The latest in tech news can be found on every major platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Stitcher, Overcast, and more. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to let us know by clicking that like button and by leaving a comment if you're watching via YouTube. And if you're listening via the podcast, be sure to share this episode with a friend. Also, double check that you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on the next episode. I'm your host, Taylor Merrick, and remember, for the latest in tech, gadget, and gaming news, visit TechNewsGadget.net. Pretty much keep being awesome, guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.